Hello, and welcome to the TEFL Alumni Talk series, an interview series that features the graduates of our Teaching English as a Foreign Language program here at the American University of Armenia. I am Anna Gevorgyan, a faculty member here at AUA. I have the pleasure of hosting two of our graduates of CTEFL program of 2023, a program that was implemented with our partner, Children of Armenia Fund, COAF. Dear Valya, dear Syuzanna, welcome back to AUA.
Thank you, Ms. Anna, for having us today here.
So we have invited you today to talk about your experiences with teacher attestation exams and the process correlated with that. So I would like to start by asking you to tell us more about yourselves, what you currently do, where you teach. So let's start with Syuzanna.
Mm-hmm. Okay, at the moment I'm wearing different hats as a teacher, as a mentee, and as a mentor. And I would like to highlight that teaching has been more than a profession for me. And it's something that shaped who I am today. And alongside teaching students, now I support other teachers with guidance. And I would like to say that it's very exciting for me and meaningful for me because it allows me to embrace the opportunity to listen, to learn, and grow with those teachers. Now I try to balance teaching and mentoring at the same time in a very human and reflective way. And that balance is something that continues to inspire and motivate me.
Okay, that sounds very, very exciting. Valya, what do you do?
Thank you for inviting me to take part in this meaningful conversation on this platform. Currently, I work as a teacher, and in addition, I serve as a mentor teacher, and I support methodological advice to educators who are open to collaborate and to aim to strengthen and empower their teaching practice. It's a great experience for me.
And also very versatile.
Yeah. After the CTEFL program, it's a very good experience.
That sounds wonderful. So I would like to talk a little bit more about your experiences with the teacher attestation exams. A very challenging and stressful experience, as I have heard. So, Syuzanna, do you want to start maybe by talking by sharing your overall experience with the program or with the process itself?
Yes, of course. Thank you for the question. My experience with teacher attestation has been very meaningful and reflective at the same time because it gave me a clear picture of where I am professionally and where I want to grow. And the process itself may seem challenging and even stressful because it requires teachers to come out of their comfort zone, to step out of their daily routine. But it's very meaningful because it encourages teachers for self assessment and self-reflection. And you start to cultivate perseverance and sense of responsibility in yourself. And I think that these two factors are the keys to success.
Mm-hmm. Those are very important insights that you're sharing. When did you take the exam itself?
I took the exam. You mean voluntary?
Yes, I mean the voluntary exam.
I took it in 2024. Yeah.
Okay. So, Valya, what your experience has been with that?
As for me, it was the most challenging for me because I took it for the first time when it was something new in Armenia, and there were any sample test provided, and there was only a guiding paper, but it was too general, and it covered only general topics related to academic English, like the noun, the adjective, and I didn't have a clear idea of what to weight, what would be assessed, but I was excited about the test format, mostly because I was aware of other teacher examination like the Cambridge TKT and other examination used in abroad, and I was eager to see whether the tests would be the similar or in any way. So I decided to take part, and fortunately, I had good results, but I understood that a lot had to be changed. the format, the test format, and the technical issues.
I think it was very brave of you to decide to take the test in the first round, because dealing with all that uncertainty probably was extremely stressful.
Yes, nobody was aware of the test format and nothing.
Wonderful. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the process of the voluntary teacher attestation and the exams itself. So, Syuzanna, what was the idea of the exam? Like, you took it in 2024, as you said, probably in the further rounds. So what changed? What was the test like for you?
The decision to take tests came from a mix of curiosity and responsibility for me. As for volunteer attestation, it was an inner choice because as I am a kind of person who every time challenges herself, and this time was not an exception, and I decided to tackle the challenge and learn from it. And as a teacher, I always tell my students to take risks, to reflect and to grow. And I decided to model that mindset myself for them. Successfully, fortunately, as Valya said, I also had a good result. I would assure that all my efforts paid off.
So regarding the test, what did it measure? What did it actually assess of teachers? Was it more about the language capacity, or were there any aspects related to methodology?
As I already mentioned, I took the test in 2024. At that time, yes, it included some aspects of language capacities and a small aspect of methodology taken from TKT. I can assure that the test was quite valuable for the teachers if they are engaged with the language.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so basically...
but it concerns to the test in 2024.
Are you aware of the changes that were made for the 2025 take?
Yes, we saw the test. It also checked the language knowledge, only the language knowledge, no methodology.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you allow me, I would like to add that the most important things that makes an effective teacher cannot be measured by a test.
No. Yeah.
For example, the way you respond to your students, the way you build trust with your students, the way you behave in challenging situations. I think these factors are the most effective ones, and they cannot be measured by a test.
Yes, admittedly, I agree with you. Some of the things that really matter for teacher performance are done in the classroom itself, and it makes it very difficult for us to measure such performance in the classroom. But at the same time, I understand that in order for the teachers to be qualified for the next levels, some form of assessment must be done. And probably the improvement over the test over the years has been going on well. With that regard. So going back to the idea of the test, what to yourselves is the purpose of the teacher attestation program?
I think the purpose is to empower and to empower the quality of education and to make the teachers grow professionally. But in general, it should aim on revealing the teachers' needs and areas of improvement, to provide some training in needed areas. That should be the purpose.
Okay, that's great. Syuzanna, what is it for you?
I absolutely agree with Valya that teacher attestation is not only to evaluate teachers, but also to find the place where they are at the moment and where they want to grow. And if the exams are approached from this perspective as a tool to grow, to improve, to find out the areas for improvement and support, it can be beneficial both for teaching and learning.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
So you're actually saying that it's assessment for learning, particularly
Yeah.
for the teachers in the first place, however stressful it may be.
Yes.
Anyhow, it's stressful for teachers because when you are writing the test, you are all the time thinking, what if I fail? What others will say about me? Instead of focusing on the test, you think about other things, and there is a psychological barrier that you should overcome.
That's true. I think the pressure on teachers is too much.
Yes, and even if you know the language very well, there is a psychological barrier, and you need to develop in you skills for test writing.
And also resistance.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Because they are different things, knowing the language and the skills for test writing.
True. Very true. Very true. So I want to go back to your experiences as CTEFL alumni now, a wonderful experience that we shared together, funded by the embassy and with our partner COAF. So how did CTEFL or any other professional development opportunity help you in preparation for the tests?
So the program wasn't designed specifically for exam preparation, but as for me, it gave me professional confidence, which was very important. And also it improved my language knowledge. Why not?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. And Syuzanna, for you?
Whenever I'm asked that question, what CTEFL gave you, I answer that it was a turning point in my life and in my professional journey as well, because it didn't add knowledge, but it helped me to understand where I am in the classroom, to trust my professional voice as well, and to explain my choices, to stand by them and keep growing. And it contributed significantly to my professional and personal growth.
So our podcast is viewed by teachers like yourselves. Mm-hmm. So, and if I ask your advice on how teachers should prepare for such exams, what would it be?
Now it's easier for teachers because there are sample tests from previous years, and they can write the test, and they can understand where to start, from what to start, and understand their needs and weak points. And I'm glad that I see in social network a lot of groups working together and getting prepared for the exam. That's very good.
Mm-hmm. So basically practicing and also sharing it in their community of practice may be very beneficial for them.
Yes,
and also useful.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Anything to add maybe to this, Syuzanna?
Yes. And I would kindly ask the teachers not to be scared of taking tests, and to trust their daily practice and experience that they have built over time. I say it from my personal experience, to try that consistency and cultivate it in themselves. And it really helps better than any last-minute preparations.
True. So we've talked about the benefits of taking those exams and tests for teachers. Mm-hmm. What do you think may the benefits be for the students?
So if teachers build confidence, they highlight their strengths, and it becomes beneficial both for teaching and learning. And if it becomes beneficial for teaching, then it means that students can benefit from it as well. And the process of reciprocity starts to take place. When teachers motivate the students, they become engaged in the learning process. And I think these are the strong factors of effective teaching.
Mm-hmm. Have your students approached you differently after you taking the exams?
Maybe.
Not only the students, but everyone in the workplace.
Colleagues too?
Yeah. First of all, colleagues, because the students love you and that love never reduces.
Okay, so do you own that process?
Yeah.
Okay, Valya, so you said your colleagues see you differently now?
Yes.
How?
Yes. They see in you more confidence and trust you more. How about the students? There are some students, teachers, as I mentioned, they get prepared for the exam and grow professionally. And if teachers grow professionally, students may have better learning outcomes.
Mm-hmm. Very true. I think it affects directly or sometimes indirectly on our students as well. Very true.
And it also helps us to understand what our students practice while taking exams. And we sometimes feel ourselves as learners.
Again. Because we forget it over time.
Yeah.
Okay. So we mostly spoke about voluntary teacher attestation, but I know you have some experience related to the mandatory one as well. Can we talk maybe a bit more about that process too? So Valya, I know that you also were brave enough to take that test. What was it like and how was it different from the one that we talked about?
Yes, it wasn't my decision. It's mandatory attestation and you have to do it by all means. And I did it after the CTEFL program. And to be honest, it was a waste of time for me because, when you learn concepts in practical way and you go back and start learning the same components in theory, it feels like a waste of time.
But since it is mandatory, it has to be taken?
Yes. It has changed since then. I did it under the old format. Now it has changed. I'm going to take the next one next year, so I can't say how is the new one, what format does it have.
Okay.
But after the CTEFL program, sure, it was a waste of time.
Okay. Syuzanna, what was it like for you? When did you take it? And what was it like?
I took it in 2025 this year, but I didn't take exam. Yeah.
What was it then?
It was just a course that we participated, and I considered it as a part of my role as a teacher. Unlike the volunteer exam, that it was, as I have already mentioned, an internal choice. What I would like to mention that I would like to add the practical aspect in that, because we also participate in the courses that teach us only the theory. But I would like to add that practical part as well.
Do you have any specific idea how that practical aspect can be actually assessed?
Yeah, they can observe teachers' lessons. Yeah, in details, and see how that teacher puts that theory into practice in her classroom.
Okay, so basically add the aspect of lesson observations.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think lesson observation is not enough in this case. They should develop tests to check teachers' critical thinking, including like case studies, situational problems, and they will assess how a prospective teacher is likely to respond to situational problems or any challenges in working place.
So let's hope for that as well, Valya, because I know that there is a commitment to improve this process overall. And so maybe in the forthcoming tests, those aspects will also be included. So basically, let's end our conversation with some recommendations maybe for the teachers. You already mentioned some pieces of advice. So if you have to kind of single out one specific big recommendation for the teachers, what would it be?
To cultivate consistency in themselves and keep growing all the time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's wonderful. Okay, Valya?
I recommend that they take the test by all means and not see the test as an exam, but as an opportunity for them to grow professionally, to understand where they are and what areas of improvement they need.
Okay.
When taking tests is approached from the right mindset, it becomes a benefit for the teachers, not just an obligation for them.
So ladies, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this was a really nice reflective conversation for both of you. It definitely was for me. This was TEFL Alumni Talk Series, an interview that features our graduates, the graduates of TEFL program at AUA. Stay tuned for our forthcoming episodes on social media and on YouTube.